All right, there we go. So we are recording just in case if you all want the replay or if anyone else joining in late will want the replay. We're going to go back to the screen share. All right, so we're just getting started with what you're going to learn. All right, so the 3 most powerful tactics for getting job interviews, how to get your resume beyond the online application systems, how to use LinkedIn to find jobs and get the interview, right? That's the thing, not just get the job and get the interview. And if you haven't noticed, LinkedIn is my specialty. LinkedIn is my jam, right? So here's the thing. Be sure to take notes, all right? This is really important. I always tell people this. You're not going to remember everything. Take notes and then start and mark anything I'm saying that you think you can use and that's going to apply to you. And as I'm going through, if you have any questions, chime in, or you can ask me at the end. But I want this to be a really interactive workshop, okay? So here's the thing. How do you get your resume seen by an actual human, right? That's the thing. And not just the system. And then where to find these like amazing jobs. And I say 6 figures, but you can have a great job and even not make 6 figures. But finding 6-figure jobs is way easier than you think. And you don't even, I know people who have 5-6 years experience making 6 figures. It just depends on what your industry is, right? And then we're going to do some Q&A. So at the end, if you stay to the end, I'm going to offer you all a special gift, and then I'm going to have a gift inside the gift as well. I like giving extra freebies only because I've been on webinars and workshops myself, and they don't give you too much information. You don't get any documents. So I wanted this to be something very different. I wanted this to be chock full of information. And I wanted to make sure I gave you all value up front. That's why I gave you the checklist. And I definitely want to reward you all for staying to the end as well. So I'm going to offer you all a special gift on that as well. All right. So the theme for the training is modernize and mindset, right? And I kind of talked a little bit about that, about, some of these old techniques and old things that they used to teach versus the modern day job search and really career fulfillment, okay? But all of this is surrounding job search. And you all, this is so important because I've seen people get depressed. They will address a rejection. They will put that on their self-worth. And I'm here to tell you it is not. Just because a system rejects you or you don't get an interview, that has nothing to do with your value. It has nothing to do with your experience. It has nothing to do with who you are at all. And I see so many people, especially my ladies, take it personal. And I know sometimes it's hard not to when companies either ghost you or they give you those thanks but no thanks emails. But I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with your value or your worth. It could honestly just be your resume, which is a simple thing to fix. It could be little tweaks, like you don't have enough keywords. It could be, sometimes I tell people, it could just be the position is filled, because timing is everything. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well. I find too, when people tell me I've applied for 30 positions, and I'll say, well, send them to me, right? I'll be like, send them to me. And they're applying at the wrong time. So we'll talk about timing, but really modernizing your job set and getting your mindset right. And knowing, like, when you get to the point where you're saying, I want something different in my career, I want better, I want more, it takes a shift in your mind. You have to know rejection is a part of the process, right? But there is a way to minimize the rejection. But being confident, putting yourself out there, having a different mindset, that is the part of the process too, okay? All right, so who am I? I don't know if we're not already connected on LinkedIn. If you don't follow me on LinkedIn, you may not know, or even if you do, I'm going to tell you all a little bit about myself. I am Latrice Huff. So why am I qualified to teach this? Well, because one, I have personal experience. This was me. I was stuck in a job I didn't want, didn't like, hated my boss, had a couple things going on. Also, I've transitioned careers. I actually started as a waitress, but professional career, accounting, marketing, then human resources. Now I do career coaching and consulting and training, right? So you plenty of different, so I've had some different realms of my career. And I will tell you all, going from accounting to marketing, you talk about addressing transitional skills. That was hard. And then going from marketing to human resources. And I can tell you all the line that I told them. I said, I said, the main thing I do is market the company. And I said, my audience is just different. Instead of me marketing to people who would refer us clients in the company, I'm going to be marketing towards potential employees, right? And so really, I was using my transitional skills as marketing to land the job in human resources. And I got the job. So that's just a little way of how you can use your skills, your transitional skills, and say, this is the skill I used in this industry. This is how I use this skill and add value to the next industry. I have over 10 years in human resources. Again, I worked my way up. I started off at the bottom. I was that very low entry level recruiter, right? And then worked my way up. And I say recruiter loosely because I was like the person who did everything. I was like the recruiter / HR assistant / party planner / whatever they needed. That's who I was. That's what I did. And within a year and a half, I was promoted. Within a year and a half after that, I was promoted. Once I kind of figured out the rhythm to my career, you guys, I got promoted really quickly. I never stayed in a position longer than 2 years. And that was my choice because I wanted to move up. And I always negotiated my salary as well. That may be a conversation for a different time. So again, I worked my way up from that recruiter all the way to, I was like HR supervisor, then something else, then HR business partner. So meaning I was running the whole department and I was reporting directly to I think now he's like the chief human resources person, okay? So if you have any questions while I'm doing that, let me know. All right, here's my story in a nutshell. And I kind of, because I don't like sitting here just talking to myself on slides, you guys, let me see. Would it help if I turn my video on? Let's see. I'm going to do this so you all can see me a little bit. All right, like chime in here. I think it's a slight delay with the camera. Chime in here, let me know, right? Oh. Yeah, my camera's not working the best. But here's the thing. I was in a career rut. I was like stuck. Like I couldn't see a way out. I didn't know what was going on with my career. And the biggest problem was I was giving someone else control over my career. Let me know if either you're doing this now or you've been in a position where you let someone else control your career. And that someone else could be your boss. That someone else could be a family member. That someone else can be, a significant other, where you're not in the right place, but you're stuck and you just can't see the way out, okay? And that was me. So let me see who just chimed in here. And I see we got some people who are just joining us as well. Yeah, you're in that situation one. Okay, and yes. And I'll tell you, the biggest piece was honestly, once I've changed my mindset, and I'll get to that, but really about I'm in control of my career. And once I figured that out, like I said, you all, I was off and running. It's a few of us, so I may tell you all some of my stories, some more stories. Here's the thing. I updated my resume, or so I thought, you guys. So I was in the same situation, like a couple of you all said, where you thought you revamped your resume and then nothing. Right? Or maybe here and there, but it wasn't consistent. It wasn't consistent. So that is how you know your resume isn't working for you, or it could be your timing. And these were some hard lessons that I learned. And I would apply, and nothing. And I'd be like, I have experience. I'm smart. I had a degree, right? I was like, I'm checking all the boxes. I don't understand. Right? And I had a friend tell me the hard truth. Well, I'll tell you, I had a friend tell me the hard truth. And then I had someone who did not know me, and I always say didn't like me. She didn't like me enough to lie to me. And ooh, y'all, when I tell you, it was what I needed to hear. It was what I now tell people, like, if when people work with me, I'm nice, I'm motivating. We're going to talk about affirmations and doing the stuff, but I'm also going to tell you the truth because I know how powerful the truth can be. And sometimes you need to hear it. So I had a friend, she looked at my resume, tore it apart, y'all. Sometimes my Baltimore accent comes out. I mean, she was like, because we work together. So she was like, Latrice, you don't have what you did on here. What about the money that you say? What about this? What about that? Didn't have it on there. And I think, did I have a certification at the time? I can't think. I might have. And so the other person who, again, did not know me, did not like me enough to lie to me, she was the one who was like, your resume isn't working. She was like, well, if it's not working, it's not good. And she was like, and she told me I should be asking for more money. And she was like, you have a certification and I make more money than you. And I was like, okay, let me listen to her. I think she knows what she's talking about. And so sometimes we need people to tell us the hard truth. And it is nothing wrong with that, to face the truth and be like, okay, this is what's going on. So here's the deal. I was like, I know I need to create an escape plan. I knew where I was not working for me. I knew I was stuck, but I just couldn't see out of it, if that makes sense, you guys. And so honestly, I locked myself in my room for the weekend. Keep in mind, I had daughters, so I had to send them away. And I planned this. I knew, I was like, okay, and this time I'm smart. I'm going to figure this out. But I didn't say I'm going to figure it out by myself. I was like, Latrice, you help people hire people. This is your job. So I start talking to managers on why they chose this person, why they didn't choose this other person, right? I looked at what I was doing and who stood out to me, because you guys, I was that recruiter who was looking at your resume for 7 seconds and deciding whether to, skip, look further, send you to the hiring manager. That was me. And I couldn't do this for myself. Okay. So I had to pause and be like, I literally start keeping notes in my phone. And I will tell you all about this when it comes to tracking your accomplishments too. That was one of the things I did. So I started putting things in my phone, really thinking about how I was making decisions, how I was looking at people's resumes, what made me pass over someone's resume versus what made me send it to the hiring manager. So I took my documents. I got my performance review. I started interviewing my coworkers, right? Because I like that one who was like, what are you doing? I was like, tell me again, what did I do? Yeah, you said I did that? Okay. I've since learned to do this for other people, right? But it's always hard sometimes to describe your accomplishments and really see the awesomeness in you and then put it on paper, right? Sometimes it can be difficult. Y'all, I locked myself in the room for the weekend, and here's the thing. I came up with a winning formula for writing a resume. And really what I did was just reverse engineer. I reverse engineered what I knew, why I was choosing people, what made the hiring managers choose someone else. So it was based on research as well as my own experience, right? So I came up with a winning formula for writing my resume, getting interviews, getting hired, and really transforming my career. And that's what you want. And here's the thing. Once you get the formula, you just keep using it. As things change and as technology, you tweak it and you adjust, but it's essentially the same formula, okay? As I'm going along, if you have any questions, let me know. So these are just so you know, okay, Latrice is who she says she is. These are some recommendations. So Crystal says she highly recommends Latrice to assist you in branding yourself and your business. She reached out to me to help her write her resume. She puts clients first and will bring out the best in you. Here's the thing, and these are kind of old ones. I have some new ones on there where one person is telling about how she applied to one job, got that interview right away. She applied to one job. Like I said, my daughter only applied to 3 jobs, right? And the method that I teach when I work with my clients, 5 jobs at a time. No more 30, 40, none of that. Just 5 jobs at a time. So Martin, I'm going to just scroll down some. He just says, Latrice went above and beyond to help me with mock interviews and giving me inside information, how to conduct myself in an interview. With her help, I landed a job within a few weeks. Here's the thing. With me, you're going to get inside tips and inside information. Sometimes I see like other people post things and talk, and LinkedIn is a wealth of knowledge, but they don't have that inside scoop, right? So you definitely want to listen to people who have the inside scoop, who can tell you how hiring managers think, how systems work. I was part of the initial phase when my company was transitioning from paperless to the applicant tracking system. I actually built the system. I know the ins and outs of these systems. Kevin says, to put it simply, my old resume was hit or miss. With 2 days of posting my new resume, I have 5 calls and 3 interviews. I'm currently talking to 2 companies about offers. So you guys, this is just to say, like, all right, I can tell you all about myself, but I'm telling you, like, this can translate to helping you as well. So you're going to get some good nuggets of information, practical stuff. All right. So if this sounds good, just give me like some yeses so I know everyone's still here. This is why I like Zoom, and I'm hoping you all can see me, right? All right, so here's the thing. I am truly obsessed with all things career fulfillment. And recently, I've even made the decision that I just love working with women. Right? So now most of my clients are women. It's my passion. And I notice sometimes we have a harder time really expressing our accomplishments. And I love, love, love helping women discover how awesome they are, okay? So let me, oh, if you don't already, be sure, and I put the slide in here so I can remind myself. Be sure to connect with me on LinkedIn if you don't already. And then I created a hashtag Latrice Lessons. I give a lot of motivational tips, because a huge part of the process of career fulfillment is mindset and motivation. You can have the best resume and the best LinkedIn profile and a great cover letter. But here's the thing, if you're not motivated to apply, you're not going to do anything. All right. Also, I give practical tips on, like, this is how you need, this is what you need to put on your resume. This is what you don't need to have on there. This is what you need to have on LinkedIn. These are some networking tips. But I do a lot of motivational content as well, because it's that important. All right, so you're ready to learn how to get more interviews, right? Go ahead and give me some whys, some yeses, so I know everybody's still with me. We're still energized. All right? All right. So here's the thing. We're going to challenge your job search and career beliefs. And inside me telling my story, I'm going to tell you all how I had to shift my mindset as well. I'm going to ask you some questions, because I want to know which one of these shifts, these mindsets, you're struggling with as well. All right. Yes, that's good. All right. That's what we want to hear. Is the slide moving? All right, so here's the thing. Let's challenge some of these beliefs. So I want to know, and I want you to kind of think about this. Which one of these false beliefs are holding you back? And just give me a 1, 2, 3. Is it that it's a full-time job, looking for a job? Because remember, I was working full-time too. All you need is a good resume. Are you like, once I get this resume straight, I'm good, the offers come pouring in, I'm done, right? Or do you think 3, it's just impossible to get past these online application systems? Kind of let me know, and I'm calling it a false belief up front, but to put it nicely, 1, 2, or 3, kind of let me know which one are you like, hey, this is where we're struggling at a little bit. All right, so Juanita says 1. I will tell you all a secret. I struggled with all 3 of these. When I was kind of going through my transformation, I truly was like, hey, it's like a full-time job, looking for a job. Let me tell you what I would do. So Ann says 1, keep telling me the numbers. Keep letting me know. Oh, okay. Let me tell you what I would do, you guys. I would be like, oh, I'm looking for a job. You know how you get frustrated. You're like, I'm looking for a job. I would look and then just keep all these tabs open and just never apply. I would even like email myself jobs. I email my friend jobs. Like, I always call it, sometimes, you know, you make decisions by committee. I'd be like, do you think I should apply? Do you think I'm qualified? I'd be sending it to everybody and didn't apply, right? And then when I got to the point, I was like, all right, I need to apply. It was like nothing. I was like, a full-time job looking for this. This is ridiculous. You know, all this stuff we come out of, right? So here's the thing. 3 simple steps I took to land more interviews. And it's really some sub steps too. I'm going to be honest with you. There's simple steps, but you have to implement them. You have to take action. You have to do the work. All right. All right. Number 1, here's the thing. I made the decision to do something different. Do you know how hard that is, you guys? Do you know? Like really saying, okay, what I was doing wasn't working. And I'm thinking like, I'm smart. Why isn't this working for me? Okay? I had to think, maybe I need to do something different. Maybe I need to listen to somebody else. Maybe instead of asking people, should I apply? I should be like, hey, can you look over my resume before I apply? So I was thinking, I had to think about, what do I want? Because you ever be like, all right, you start looking at like, what job titles? I started thinking about job titles and all these different things, but I didn't focus on what do I want. So I had to shift. Instead of thinking based on my experience, what can I get? And I had to start thinking based on who I am and my passion, what do I want? All right. So that's why I say you start with you. What do you want? So I had to get rid of that false belief that searching for a job is a full-time job, because I had a full-time job and I had 2 kids and I was single, right? And by the way, I worked in one state and lived in another state. I'm going to turn the video off just because it just looks like it's lagging. If you want me to turn it back on, just let me know, but it just looks like it's lagging to me. Definitely all 3. Okay. Tasha's is definitely all 3. Yeah. Nakia, you too. Yeah, I was all 3. That's why I put those up. There's nothing wrong with that because honestly, that was me. I was all 3. Here's the thing. It is not true. I should have got this. Since it's just a couple of us, and I just turned my video off, but I'll show you this once I turn the video back on. Like I started gathering things. I knew I did not have 40 hours a week, right? So I had to be very strategic about my job search. And I knew I had planned that weekend. And so I teach people, you don't need to say, I'm going to do this every single day, right? I had one person say, how many jobs are you going to apply to in a week? She said 20. I said, that's unnecessary. At 20, you're playing a numbers game versus having a job search strategy, okay? And so what you're saying here, I had one of my clients, and this was actually somebody, we're going to talk about personal branding too, but this is someone I used to work with. And then once I started my own business, he came to me and I helped him. And he just says, Latrice did my resume and I got a job in 1 day. And he left this comment on a Facebook Live I was doing. I did another Facebook Live a few weeks ago and he commented the same thing. And he was like, hey, that was 3 years ago and I still have this job. And he still has the job. But I was like, hey, what do you want? Show me the job ad, the type of job you want. Now we're going to create the format again. And then we're going to start populating your resume to correlate to that. All right. And this is just the resume. This is just one piece of the job search. But again, you have to know what you want to start with, right? Have an idea about what you want, the value you bring, and then look at the job ad and figure out, okay, does this job ad align with me? And when you have that alignment, you're going to find it's just much easier to write your resume. It's just much easier to communicate with these companies because you're aligned with them, right? All right. So here's the thing, action steps. Right? We got the false belief. I'm showing you a testimonial. Here's the action step. It's to create an escape plan. Think about how you're going to get out of the current situation. Schedule time to implement what you're going to do. If you need to research, you research. If you're like, I don't have time, like honestly, you guys, I was like, I'm going to take action in these 2 days, but I was doing all these things to prep before then. I was like, hey, I am going to start taking notes in my phone. I am going to start, like I took copies of my evaluation. I'm going to start talking to people before and then put everything together, okay? So, but even salaries, do salary research, know how much. I find a lot of the times women, we undercut ourselves. You guys, let me tell you, when I started interviewing and I would tell people my salary requirements, now I'm kind of hesitant if I would advise people to do that up front, but I was telling them $15,000 more than I was making at the time. And you know what? They were like, okay, when can you come in? And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? But I had did my research for the salaries. So I knew what was the mid, medium, the minimum, the medium, the high range. And here's the thing, what I find sometimes with leads, we always want to start at the lowest point. No, start at the mid to high range, right? If you're above average and you're ambitious, then you should get the money you deserve. But you got to know it and you have to practice saying it. Again, gather those materials, right? The resume, your performance evaluation, references, awards, certifications. All of these things will make it easier when you're writing your resume, when you're talking about yourself, when you're networking, when you're on LinkedIn, because you're going to have it, right? So this is how, if you start gathering a little bit at a time, 10, 15 minutes, do this while you're at work. It doesn't need to stop what you're doing in the rest of your life, okay? Again, I do not believe it takes a full-time job to look for a job. It's just simply not. That's like an old school thing they used to say. And sometimes now I think it's just an excuse. And it was one that I had too. All right. So here's the thing. Do you have an escape plan? This is, I'm all about the escape plan, meaning, do you know how to be like, this is where I am, this is where I want to go, and the path, the escape plan is what's in the middle, right? So number two, the second thing I did some self-reflection and I developed and established my personal brand, which meant I was like, who am I and what's my story, right? So, and at the time I didn't know, and I even had to have my manager kind of tell me, and I asked my coworker too, and I was kind of like, what would you say is like the main thing about me? And she was like, you always find ways to do things. You're really strategic. So what I did is I created my own brand. You know how they say you can train people how to treat you? That is true. You can also train people how to talk about you, how you talk about yourself. So I used to just tell managers, I was like, let me know if it's anything I can help you with, because I'm really strategic and good at solving problems. And so what they would just go back and be like, you know what? We should ask Latrice because she's really strategic and she knows how to solve problems. Now, I had to actually do the work to back it up, but I was giving them the words to use about me. And so here's the thing. When you say all you need is a good resume, it's not true. So if this is your false belief number two, it's not true. You need more than a good resume. A resume is a tool. It is a very important tool, right? I'm not going to lie, it's a very important tool. But you need things beyond that, right? So here's the action steps. I needed to know my personal brand. And think about this. How do you want people to see you? So how do you want to be seen? And this is the time, you guys, you should be taking notes. And I want you to kind of chime in and let me know, right? Like if you had to think of one word that you want to describe you, not how people currently describe you, let me know. My word was strategic. That's what I wanted to be known for at the time. So if you're in HR, being like an HR business partner or a strategic partner, like that was like the thing, right? Like strategic and innovative. And I'm doing air quotes, you all can't see me. But for those of you in HR, that's like the word, right? Oh, Juanita says mentor. That's good. I love those words like mentor, coach, teacher, trainer. Those are all good words. So Nakia, and let me know, what's that one word, right? Think about it, right? So I also, and this is some things for you to think about. What is the title? You are the HR business partner. Now it's very common. Back then it wasn't, and I kind of researched and I was like, that's the title, right? Think about the duties you want. Think about the salary. Gap closer. That's nice. Yes, I know it's technically two words. That's okay. That's good. We'll put a hyphen in there. I love that. I love this. And that's why I like doing this workshop. I haven't done it in a few months, but I find that people start, thinking about themselves in ways they're like, oh, I never put that down on paper. Dependable, leadership, and dependable. So I challenge you all, are these words that you currently have on your resume, and that do you have something that backs it up to show that, right? I want to know, do you have this on your resume? Hey, Manishka. All right. And I've read a book about LinkedIn. All right. So I know I'm such a nerd. So I have to read books. I still have that book. A lot has changed, obviously, but that book really talked about, again, the strategy of using LinkedIn. I updated my LinkedIn profile and I reached out to connections. So do you all see how we're going beyond just your resume? Again, your resume is this important tool, but you have to go beyond that resume. Well, I got so good at LinkedIn that I had people contacting me when I was active in my job search. They were contacting me. I didn't even apply for the job, and they were just from my profile. They were like, "We really would like someone like you. Can you interview?" And then, like, I had the interview scheduled, and the lady was like, "Oh, can you apply?" And had to send me the link to apply. She was like, "Just apply before you come in." This is how powerful LinkedIn is. Okay, so just so you know, this is my little quote, and this is from a book. It says, create an attractive profile. A great profile will have recruiters, headhunters, and hiring managers flocking to you like bees to honey. That's what you want. Now, again, LinkedIn is even more powerful. All right, so this is the book that I read. I like it. I just wouldn't recommend it right now, but it does talk a little bit about the strategy. So one thing that I use that I love that still works today is the person who wrote the book said, add this statement, how I add value to your company, and then have a couple examples. Oh my goodness. So you all, once I stopped working and started my own business, that statement was so powerful. When I would connect with people, they would still be offering me jobs. And I'd be like, no, I'm not really looking, not really looking. Without a resume, they weren't even saying, hey, Latrice, can we see your resume? They were like, when can you come in for the interview? We're always looking for good people who can make a difference. Like, these were the lines they were saying, right? So action steps, right? Got me interviews and offers. So I'm just telling you all, like, about LinkedIn. Tell a story and make your profile compelling. This is why I gave you all that LinkedIn checklist for a powerful profile. That is key, powerful. And again, the checklist goes even beyond your profile. It talks about hashtags. We talk about, like, your privacy settings, who you should connect with, post. Just know it's powerful. LinkedIn is powerful. Decide if you want to write in first person or third. So here's the thing. A few years ago, it was a debate, right? And people were like, oh, to be ultra professional, write in third person. These days, right now, 2019, soon to be 2020, I would say 90% of the profiles I see are written in first person. So it's okay to be personal, show a little bit of personality, and still be professional. Okay. I personally prefer first person. Even on my LinkedIn profile, I think I have something like talking about how I'm a middle child. And yes, I was deprived of attention. It's true. All right. So you all kind of already answered if you're really using it. So if you're just chiming in, I kind of asked this question earlier, but I want to know, are you really using LinkedIn? Like, are you active? Not just searching jobs. I mean, are you posting? Are you commenting? Are you following? Are you active on LinkedIn? I'm telling you what, it's going to be, you're going to see, when you start implementing and just using LinkedIn, you're going to see a shift. Even if you just see that shift in how many people view your profile, right? So I see some people in the chat. Yes, ma'am. All right. Yeah, Tasha, you're on there. I see, right? Not as before, but we'll start revamping. Yes, and yes. And here's the thing. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. Sorry, let me go back. You can do little tweaks to your LinkedIn profile, okay? All right, so your resume versus LinkedIn. Remember, they're both important, but they do different things, all right? So, and FYI, I don't know if you all have seen this, but now you can apply for jobs with your LinkedIn profile. So that's why I said I'm going to put this prediction out here. In 2 years, I think I'm really going to say, like, LinkedIn will be more important than your resume. And I actually get people contacting me more to help them with LinkedIn and LinkedIn strategy than even their resumes, right? So your resume, it should be result focused. It should be short, 1 to 2 pages, your words, right? You're telling a story, and it should be formal. LinkedIn, on the other hand, I'm sorry, it should be telling. LinkedIn, on the other hand, yes, you tell a story, but you can also show what others are saying about you. Like the screenshot that I showed you all was from her LinkedIn profile. And I've got even more testimonials and even more recent testimonials and endorsements, right? It can be way longer. Sometimes part of the problem is you're trying to fit all these everything you've done and who you are and one or two pages. It's not possible. But with LinkedIn, you can tell a lot more information. It's interactive. People can click. They can pull on the links on your job. You can add multimedia, right? You can be more social. You can be in first person. If I haven't sold you all on LinkedIn, and here's the thing, I do not work for LinkedIn. I do not get a commission. They don't pay me at all. Nothing. I'm just telling you all, it truly works. It worked for me. It has worked for clients. It works. Again, and this is one of the things I did not always get in the beginning about the personal brand. And now they're saying this for a personal brand, but really it's your reputation. It's what makes you different. It's that special thing about you. And the reason why you need to know your personal brand, when you're answering questions like, why should we hire you? That's when you need to stand in your personal brand. When you are right at the top, when you have a summary, you need to clearly define your personal brand and the value you bring to the company. That's going to be more powerful than an objective statement, right? All right, personal brand. What you want, think about what you want, who you are, and what you represent, right? So when you're thinking about your personal brand statement, couple words, like I had one of my clients, we worked with her, and hers was cool, calm, and collective, no matter the. Who wouldn't want that? Like, sorry, who wouldn't want that, right? And could you tell which industry she was in? Would you believe that was the fashion industry? She's actually in fashion, right? So just think about that. So cool, calm, and collective, no matter the crisis. Mine, so before mine was like, I'm strategic and practical, but I'm still friendly. Meaning, when you think about HR and you think like she's very strategic, you think about someone who's in her head. But I was really friendly. I was the person who talked to everybody. That's how I learned so much. That's how I was able to solve so many problems. But that's what I said. That's my unique statement, my unique proposition, my personal brand is that I'm strategic, practical, and friendly. And that allows me to be an effective communicator and solve complex problems. You see that? Like who I am, why I'm unique, and the value that I add, right? So because I am this way, I can now solve your problem. So think about that. And so think about those words you said. So being a mentor, a leader, some of those other words, right? Why would a company care? How does who you are help you get results? And I think that's the piece people miss when talking about your personal brand. You still have to make it define the value, right? All right. So I kind of went on, but I already talked about these. So when you're defining your personal brand, think about personal goals, what you do best. And what you do best may not always be what you like. So translate that with what you like. Education, certification, associations, what you enjoy doing. How have you contributed to your current company? Okay? Think about it. How do you add value? How can you add value to a company? All right. Number 3, give the system what it wants. All right. And sometimes I call it feed the monster. This is where a lot of the stuff before was like internal work and things that we're putting on our resume. Now we're putting it all together. I'm going to talk about templates, timing, and tracking. Remember before I said timing is everything. And a lot of the mistakes I find is that people are just applying at the wrong time. All right. So false belief number 3, it's impossible to get past those online tracking systems. I keep getting denied. These are quotes people always tell me, right? It is not impossible. You can get through them. And we always hear about keywords. Here's a secret though. The main keyword that I see people always forget is the job title. So I kind of want to know, yes or no, let me know if this is something you all are doing. Have you, or do you, when you're applying for the job, do you put the job title at the top of your resume? Give me your Y or N, because I want to know. I will tell you all, most people don't do that. You do, yes? All right. wanting to know, that is just a simple trick. We're automatically adding the keywords. We're automatically telling the gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are the systems, that entry level HR person, recruiter. They're just a gatekeeper. They're not the decision maker. You always want to get to the decision maker, which is the actual hiring manager. Okay. Is that doing the right bit? Yes. Okay. That's just this quick little thing you can always do to customize your resume. All right. So updating your resume, making sure that you're representing your personal brand on your resume. I did apply to I think I applied to like under 10 jobs. Under 10 jobs. I customized my resume to each job. All right. And when I say customize is not, I'm creating a whole new resume for this job. That's not what I mean by customize, because what you should be doing, when you're originally writing your resume, it should already be customized. It should already be like, this is the realm, this is the, let's say if you're looking for an HR job, right? Then you're going to have certain keywords, and so it's going to be HR targeted. But let's say you're like, well, I'm interested in human resources, but if I see a management level customer service job, I'm also interested in that. That would be two different resumes. But if it's in the same realm, you can have one resume and tweak it. Meaning, like in human resources, some companies use the term talent acquisition, some companies use the term recruiting, some, those different things. Just use the wording that the companies use. You have to feed the monster. You have to give them what they want, okay? And that sometimes people miss that. It is not, I got one resume and I'm going to blast it and keep applying. That's not what you're going to do. And then cover letters. I only wrote cover letters for 3 jobs. One of them was Amazon. And with that cover letter, I told a specific story about a specific result that I knew the company wanted, because so I was addressing their pain point. So listen to me again. Did not have a generic cover letter that said, oh, I saw this job on LinkedIn and no. It was like, hey, I really loved Amazon. I watched your video on this. What I could tell from your video on your website that you're really about culture, which that's a whole other story. This is what they're trying to portray, that they're all about company culture and employee engagement. So what I told them about was a time that we had low employee engagement. We had really bad results on the survey, and how I implemented a employment appreciation event. We had a dunk tank where they can dunk executives, and it was the most attended event that the company had ever had in the history of the company, and it was something they had continued to do, right? And then the next survey, that was one of the things all the employees said that they liked, they felt appreciated, and they wanted more of. So that was one particular story. I always get asked, do you really need a cover letter? Do hiring managers read them? Here's the thing. They read good, short cover letters. Now, I actually had somebody send me a 4-page cover letter. It was literally 4 pages, and not 3.5, 4-page cover letter. So they're not going to read it. And I'm mostly gearing this towards civilian private sector jobs. If you're talking about, when we get to like government jobs, that's a little different. These techniques still work. They just like to see things a little like longer, more content. Okay? Connect on LinkedIn to people who work at the companies in the job ad. That's going to work amazing for you. That's a simple thing you can do. Fast forward now, like when I did this, they didn't have it. You can go to the job ad and go to the company's page, and they will tell you under people, or sometimes even connections, they will tell you every single person on LinkedIn who works for that company. They'll also tell you who's already in your network. Do you have someone on your first network, second network? Are they a third level connection? But that's an easy way to find people, right? And start connecting. So this is how you're going to do a little extra. This is how you get around those applicant tracking systems. And I tell this story a lot, but I actually had a client, she got declined. She had the skill, she had the talent, she had the experience, everything, and the system declined her, right? Who knows? We don't know why. The system declined her. And I was like, hey, and she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I really wanted this. And I said, well, if this is what you really want, then you go after it. And I only say you do these with jobs you really want. That's why we don't do the spray and pray method, right? That's why we are not applying for 30, 40 jobs, because we're going to take things a step further. 5 to 10 jobs is enough to do this. So what you do, so we were on the phone and I said, all right, what's the company? Literally, you are in like less than a minute, I found who her potential supervisor was. I sent her the link. I said, connect with them on LinkedIn. She was like, what do I say? I was like, here, this is what you say. She literally like typed it up word for word. She messaged me and was like, the lady contacted me, asked me for my resume. I was like, well, give it to her. She gave her the resume. She got the interview and got the offer. And she was declined by the system. So I just want to let you know how powerful this method is. You have to do more than just apply. These are techniques that you use when it's a job you really want, okay? If it's something you're like, I don't really know, you're not going to waste this energy. Nikia says, no, I normally address the title in my cover letter. Okay, no, I normally address the title in my cover letter. Put it on your resume. It's going to do more for you. All right. So, oh, and just so you know, if you are, you can message me privately. You can ask me questions too if you don't want to share with the group. That's fine. One other thing, a couple other things I want to talk about is templates. Having some messaging templates is going to work great for you all right? Timing. Here's the secret. The first 7 days, you're more likely to get the interview. Remember when I told you all I was reverse engineering what I actually did? Timing is key, you guys. Even if a job is still up, it's still showing. Sometimes even on Indeed, they're still pulling jobs. Indeed is like an aggregate website, so they're pulling from all these places. But that job could be filled. They're maybe not really, they're accepting applications, but they're not looking at them. And you're just going to be ignored. You'll be better off using your energy to apply for jobs within the first 7 days. Ding, 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 again, a little LinkedIn trick they're now doing. Even if you don't apply on LinkedIn, LinkedIn will tell you how many people have applied to that job. So it's in jobs, I think it was like an Amazon job, and it had 200 people applied within like the first 3 days. LinkedIn will also tell you where your skills compared to the skills of the other people who applied. I don't know if I would recommend that, but if you see a job where it's been open 3 days and let's say 15 people applied, go for it. Even if 50 people applied, go for it. You're only competing with the people who applied during that short time frame. And the reason why I say 7 days is because usually after 5 to 7 days, a company, they'll pause, even if they're still accepting applications, they're not looking at them. After 5 to 7 days, a recruiter should have enough resumes that they can then filter through and give the hiring manager 3 to 10 to interview, to look over and select an interview. So that's why timing is so important. If you solely took timing from this, you're going to see a huge difference. If you're like, I'm not updating, I'm not customizing, I'm not doing anything else. If you only did the timing, you're going to see a difference. And tracking. You have to track where you applied, who you followed up with, when you followed up with them. And guess what? It's okay to follow up more than once. It is okay. Guys, I had another client of mine. She was like, Patrice, they said they wanted to interview me, but they never gave her a date, and then she didn't hear anything else. And she was like, she said, I still see the job open. Should I apply? I said, don't apply again. Keep following up. I said, tell them this. And this isn't my wording. I did get this from someone else. I said, say something along the lines of, you're really interested. You love the job. You love the company. And you just want them to know that you are a persistent and professional problem solver. And I said, end with a question. When can you expect a date for an interview? Or like, what day can you chat? She was like, okay, she did that. And the lady emailed her back within 20 minutes. She was like, oh my goodness, Latrice, I got the date for the interview. So I'm just telling you, a lot of this stuff works. Sometimes we just don't want to try it, or we think we have to do every single thing. Just figure out what's going to work for you all and make it a repeatable formula. Make it a method, okay? All right. So I know this is a lot. So let me know if you have, I'm going to check the chat. So let's see if we have any questions. It's really good. All right. So let me see. I got some questions coming in. So let me go through this. I want to make sure you all get this actual content. Okay? And then we're going to open it up for questions. All right. So, and the rest of this, these are just quick tips that I'm going to give you all. And some of this I kind of already went over. So your resume is merely a tool. It is not the end all be all. It is a tool to get you the right job. But it is one of the most important elements, right? Soon I'll have LinkedIn right here. It is usually the first introduction a company has to you, but it needs to reflect your personal brand, and it can be the determining factor whether you get a job or not. I've seen interviews be as informal as, well, walk me through your resume, right? And if you don't have a powerful resume, if your resume isn't accomplishment focused, you're going to lose sight and you're going to blend in, you're not going to stand out. You want to make sure that your resume, if someone's like, walk me through your resume, you're like, okay, well, and if they say, what did you do? You talk about what you did in terms of accomplishments, not tasks and responsibilities, okay? So, key things. And if you can, I want you all to type, whichever one of these really resonates with you, I want you to kind of type it in. This is my favorite. Be the solution. You need to be the solution to their problem. On your resume, your LinkedIn profile, when you're networking, when you're interviewing, show them how you are the solution. I'm trying to think, was it gap filler or filling the gap closer, right? Show them how you are that gap closer, right? When you're doing that, you're going to find you're going to get quicker responses to your resume. You're going to get quicker responses to your LinkedIn profile. And here's the thing, ladies, show and tell. When I look at my ladies' resumes, and you all are my favorite. I love working with women. I think I had some guys register. I love my fellas too, but my passion is working with women. We tend to downgrade. Sometimes we say, well, my staff did that, or my colleague, or everything is assisted, right? No, you did this. If you were part of a team, you still did it. You still created. You still finished the project. So clearly show your contributions to the company. Don't make me guess. Don't make it hidden. And some of you who I already work with, you know what I'm talking about, right? Don't hide your accomplishments and bury them, or don't make me assume that because you did one thing, you now know how to do something else. You need to explicitly show these things. Use percentages, use dollars. Calculate the time you save. Okay? If you reduce the process, put a dollar amount to that. Put a percentage on that. I revamped this process, cutting the result time, or cutting the payroll days by 3 days or something like that. But you have to put some percentages, some numbers, making sure it's calculated. Don't make me think. Don't say I oversaw this project. I need to know what was the result of the project. Think about impact. What was the impact that you made on the company? Okay? So as I'm going through this, let me know what is kind of resonating with you, where you're like, okay, this is what I need to do. Like some takeaway points. Keywords are king. Point blank, period. I saw this guy's post on LinkedIn. He's like, what is this? Help me understand why I need keywords and get past the applicant tracking system. And one lady was like, she has this great analogy, but pretty much she was like, look, the keywords are going to get you past the gatekeeper. Like, this is even beyond the applicant tracking systems. Keywords will help everyone understand you know what you're talking about. You're speaking their language, whether it's the applicant, even if a company didn't have an applicant tracking system, you still need to use keywords and customize your resume for the recruiter, for the hiring manager, so they can know that, okay, she's speaking my language, she understands, like she gets us. You need to use keywords. So here's the thing. What makes your resume stand out? All right. Giving the company what they asked for, being the solution, and your resume needs to be different but easy to read. No crazy fonts. I'm seeing now like these pictures and stuff. And here's the thing, in case you have people out of the country, in other countries that is very acceptable. Right now in the United States, having your picture on your resume is not standard and is not acceptable. I'm in a lot of HR groups, and a lot of them even say for legal reasons they will toss those resumes because they don't want to say like we discriminated against them because of their gender, color, or we hired them because they're a white male. So please be mindful of that. I've had people go back and forth with me on this. And if for other countries, it's different. For the United States right now, you do not want to add a picture to your resume, not unless it's, like modeling, something like that. Otherwise, stay away. Picture on LinkedIn, yes. All right. Quickly, how to cheat the applicant tracking systems. Give more than the basic. If they're asking for a resume, you give your resume, you show your education, your certification, references. Give more. Keywords, again, uploading other documents, awards, certifications, letters of recommendation. Those are going to get you seen, okay? Here's the key with applicant tracking systems. Please know, and we talked about the experience is not an exact science, you guys. Like, wait a minute, I'm gonna turn my camera on because you gotta see that, I want you all to see me. And don't be mad, because people get mad when I say this. Here's the thing. Experience is not an exact science. You get me? You got me? Meaning, I understand what's written on the paper. I understand that. It is not exact. It is not the end all be all. Once you get that shift, it's going to open up so many doors for you. Once you're like, I don't know, but Latrice says, so I'm going to try it. It probably won't work. And I'm going to tell her it won't work, but I'm going to apply anyway. Just do it. Just do it. Trust me. If you're showing everything else, if you're doing some of these other things, and they're like, we want someone with 5 years of experience, and you have 2, go for it. Okay? I have seen it. You need to go for it. If they're like, we need you to have 1 year experience, and you have none, go for it. It's because a lot of times they can't put, we need you to have 0 experience, right? I've even worked with someone, the company was like, oh, we want someone who has supervised a team of 25 before. And she had never, I think the most she had supervised was like 3 people. And she got the job because she could show that, hey, she did project management. She did other things to have these skills. Think about what is the skill, what is the problem they need you to solve with that particular qualification or skill. Once you get that and you can show that, then you got it. Again, the applicant tracking systems are not all knowing. So what if you get declined? If it's a job you really want, it's ways to get around that. All right? All right, let me see. I think we're winding down here. All right, so we talked about customizing your resume. Where do you find these 6-figure jobs? Indeed, industry-specific sites, headhunters, which I had someone debate me on that. Headhunters, they just call themselves different things now, right? But they're on LinkedIn. Glassdoor. Ladders is one of my favorite companies. They specialize in 6-figure jobs. It is like a membership site, but you can search, find the job, and then put that in Indeed, and you'll have access to it. So I know I'm going to talk about LinkedIn, right? I found that I'm connected to a lot of HR people, a lot of recruiters, lots of hiring managers. I can tell you, on any given day, I see at least 10 people posting jobs. And when you can get to that direct person posting, you're more likely to get an interview. No less than 10. I'm telling you all, no less than 10. But here's one. And they were hiring for a VP of Human Resources for a small company. But look at the highlighted salary. Salary ranges up to $130,000. And this isn't on Indeed. This isn't on the LinkedIn job site. This was just, she took her post and she posted that. And she has her email address right there. And remember, we talked about hashtags of HR jobs. If you're looking for HR jobs, please follow that hashtag. You're going to see so many. Also, if your industry is pretty popular, put that industry title, jobs for a hashtag, follow it. You're going to be amazed at the jobs that you see, because these are even jobs that didn't pay to be on LinkedIn. Somebody's just posted. That's a little bonus, a little bonus highlight. Tactics to get your 6-figure interview. And these, you all, I'm going to go kind of fast here because we already went through the bulk of it. This is a little repetitive. Define your personal brand. All right. You want to get that interview, you can clearly define your personal brand and the value you add to that company, you're going to get the interview. Networking and referrals. Again, referrals trump resumes. You get a referral, you pretty much got that interview. An outstanding marketing material, right? Connecting with the hiring team. Again, you want to get to a real person, company website, LinkedIn. Twitter is big. I've been seeing more and more people connecting and have discussions about jobs via Twitter. All right, so I'm going to do a check-in really quickly. So as we're going through, any questions, any things that you resonate with, any like aha moments, give me a check-in, because you all know I don't like sitting here talking to myself. So give me some check-ins. Let me know. Give me some feedback. If you're like, I got it, Latrice, I'm following. If you're a little lost, let me know what we got. All right. This is helpful. Good. This is helpful. Good, Tasha. And everything was helpful. Good. Thank you, guys. All right. Because this helps me. I know. So these last slides, we're going to go a little fast, but guess what? This is big. No more excuses. You know what you got to do. I gave you some very practical tips. Breaking these old school habits, right? And I kind of want to know what old school habit. I think I need to network more. Yes. All right. Here's the thing. Let me know. What old school habit have you been doing, right? Long cover letter. Mailing letters. And I saw someone on LinkedIn, and she's like this really popular, she's not likable, but she's popular, telling people to mail. Here's the thing with mailing things. By the time even if you get out the interview and literally mail that day, right? By the time they get it, 3 other people could have already emailed them a thank you letter. So just be mindful of that, right? Are you just completing the application and not doing anything else? Are you looking at quantity versus quality? Are you trying to apply in person? Job fairs. Here's the thing. I used to do those job fairs, and one of the things we would tell people is like, apply online, apply online. Well, the people hosting the job fair was like, people are getting discouraged. Can you just take their resumes? Well, you take their resumes, it's not much you can do with it when so many things were automated. All right. Better ways. I do like job fairs. I'm just saying, be mindful to still do these other things in addition to job fairs. A better way, conferences. I have an older daughter. She got her job by conference. She got 2 job offers from going to conferences because they were doing interviews on the spot at a conference, not a job fair. Okay. Holiday parties, great place to network, and people get a little toasty. We got the holidays coming up. Are you doing the resume and application only? That's like an old school technique. Basic background checks, right? Just know companies these days do extensive background checks, meaning they also checking your social media platforms, especially when people who want leadership positions, or if you're in human resources, it's almost a given that they're going to look at your LinkedIn, Facebook, maybe even Twitter. Just know that. Very helpful. Yes. I have to follow up with more. Yes. Public helpful criticism. Yes. Yes. I'm glad. Thank you all for this feedback. We like this. All right. The real success stories. This is Caleb, and he was just saying, he was one of my favorite people. She took her time in explaining the process, doing a mock interview with me that lasted over 2 hours. When I walked into the interview, I was prepared for every scenario. Latrice's skill in augmenting my resume. If it feels, she's top notch. I love them. This is Georgiana. She's worked with me for several years. Expert advice, awesome advice, which helped her land more interviews within a short amount of time. And that's really what it's all about. Oh, this is another one of my clients who landed his dream job at Facebook. And just says, hi, Latrice, thanks for helping me prep. Just wanted to update you. I got the offer from Facebook this week. So you guys, these techniques that I'm telling you work with small companies. They even work with the government. Not as quickly, but same techniques, right? They to large companies, to startups, to large companies like Facebook, right? In Facebook, I've had clients get offers at Google's. So do you see how powerful these strategies can be when done right? Right? Give me yes, no. Are these like powerful? And these are things you can easily implement. I need to yes, I need both go. All right, good. Good. I'm liking the yeses. I'm liking this. All right. So we're winding down. Do you believe it's possible for you to be I think that should say maybe that should say confident. Oh, Mama's all right. So are you ready to escape your current situation? This is what I want to know. Give me some yeses, give me some nos. Because sometimes people are like, I'm kind of content, but I want to know, are you like, all right, I want to escape plan. Let's go. All right. I want to make sure I'm not, yes, because I want to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Great. All right. So your escape plan, this is designed for you to have career fulfillment on your own terms. You want to have the confidence to ask for what you want and go after your dream job. Consistency and accountability to achieve your career goals. You want control over your career, money, life, and happiness. You guys, we spend so much of our day at work. We want to be happy and enjoy going to work, and it's possible. I tell people, when I was in the HR business, when I was in HR, I loved my job most days. If you know HR, you know it's ups and downs, it's peaks and valleys. But most of the time, I loved what I was doing, and I really felt like I was helping people and making a difference. And I was getting paid for it. And so I was like, this is awesome. All right. So this is going to be my free gift to you all. So thank you for staying to the end. I'm going to make sure I put this link in there. So even if you've had a call with me and you worked with me before, this is your escape plan call. It is valued at $249. I'm giving it to you free. Okay, so we're going to have 30 minutes to get clear on your next career moves. There are going to be limited spots. I'm going to put this link. If you want to copy it, you can. So it's calendly.com/Latrice. And you just click on escape plan. I have limited spots for tomorrow and Saturday. So I would say go ahead. What I tell people is I would recommend you book now while we're kind of talking. It's a free call and you can talk one-on-one with me, okay? And I've had a lot of people get clarity, have breakthroughs just on this one session. And as my extra bonus to you all, when you sign up now, I'm also going to, remember I said I'm going to give you a gift to a gift. I'm going to give you some LinkedIn scripts that I give to my clients. I recently revamped these. So even if you have worked with me before, these are going to be even more templates and scripts that you use when you're messaging people on LinkedIn, when you're following up with someone on LinkedIn. Like, how do you get a recruiter to message you back? This is what people want to know. And this is one of the things that I get a lot is like, what do I say? Okay, they've connected with me. Now, what do I do, right? So that's going to answer. So go ahead, schedule that call now. And you're going to get, as well as the call, which is me to actually, and we'll have a one-on-one conversation and making sure that you're clear on your next career moves. You're also going to get those LinkedIn scripts. All right. So I'm going to put that link in, but I want to make sure you have it again. You can just put calendly.com/Latrice. If someone who's on here, if you could put that in the chat box for me before I get a minute, that would be great. And I want to know, so this is for you. If you're an ambitious professional, you're stuck in your career, this is what you want. You're like, let's have a one-on-one conversation, right? If you want more work-life balance and a great salary, because it's possible, I know plenty of people who do it, and you want to, you've been in your job search, and this is what I tell people, no viable offers, meaning maybe you've had an offer, but it's not what you want. You want viable offers. If you want the confidence and support to go after your dream job, if you know that you're meant for more, if you're like, I know where I'm at and I know I'm meant for more, and right now, sometimes people just need to know that next step, right? Let's just have a plan to move you forward. Sometimes you even are like, I know where I want to go, but those first 3 steps are a little unclear. Or if your current job is draining and stressful, let's get on a call. So here's the thing. I always tell people, I was like, if you stay to the end, you probably vibe with me. You see my energy, right? But I do like to be very transparent. So this is not for you. If you are like, I just want to kind of figure it out myself and I want to Google everything. Google works for certain levels. And I always tell people this. Google is not for every level, or if you have a unique situation, Google really isn't going to work, or some of those standard Google like resume formats, it's not going to work for you. It's not going to work if you're not willing to put in the time, the work to accomplish. If you're like, I just want a magic pill. I had one lady, I love her to death, and she's one of the ladies I work with, and she was like, Latrice, you're a magic maker. She was like, I'm not. And she even put that on, if you go on my LinkedIn profile, she put in the recommendation. And I was like, yeah, but she did the work. So I don't have a magic pill. I have a formula, right? But it's not magic because you still need to put in the work. And if you don't want to invest in yourself or your career, sometimes people are like, I don't have the time, the energy, I don't have anything to invest right now. That's fine. Just know sometimes you're going to stay stuck once you get out of it. And I had to take the time, the money, the energy. And I was like, hey kids, I got to pay for a babysitter and I need to get this stuff done. Right. So just to be transparent. So here's why you're going to book the session, expert advice. But while I'm going through this, I want you all to type in your questions because I want this to be kind of for you too. So as I'm going along with this, I want you to think like, while you have me here, what are your questions? Because it could be a question someone else has as well. And let's help each other. This is a safe space. It's intimate. It's just us. Let's kind of share our knowledge. And if you're struggling with something, or I went through something and you don't understand or you want clarity, let me know. Okay. But why book the session? As I'm going to go through my slides, you're going to get your expert advice with me, help with your escape plan. If you want personalized attention, and if you want a proven formula for success and renewed confidence. Yes, I tell people I got my Baltimore swag, so I'm not going to lie to you, but sometimes you just need someone else to just tell you how awesome you are. Okay. And really, there's no one size fits all when you're talking about your career. So be sure, if you haven't already, go ahead and schedule this, and go ahead and schedule it now because it's going to be limited spots. All right, I got the Let's Chat and we're on the questions. So if you want, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. You go. All right, so I think all right. We got a lot of comments. We got a lot of questions. This is good. All right, I need your help. All right, people are like, I want to book now. Okay, let me, I'm going to get this link, and I'm going to put the link in the, all right, so I'm putting the link in the chat box right now, okay? Sorry, wait a minute. So, Tasha, I have it on, wait a minute. I'm looking at the chat. All right, there we go. Sorry, because it went to Tasha private. Okay. So just checking in. Can everyone see? It says escape plan call, the link, calendly.com with Latrice. If you can see it, say yes. All right. Do I want to? Don't I look nice on that picture though? I'm scared to send my video. It's gonna be like. All right, let me turn my video on so you all can see me. And this is, I feel like, so what is it? 9 of us on here, you guys? All right. So I want to see your questions. I'm going to go back because I think I missed a couple. All right, revamp profile. Yes. All right, let's see. Let me see. It's really helpful. Great. Yeah. Sometimes I shy away from applying to jobs because lack of expertise and not knowing how to just go for it. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to, all right, here's the thing. When you're feeling like, because this is confidence sometimes, what is the worst thing that could happen if you apply to that job? And you're like, I don't meet all the qualifications. What is the worst that could happen? Like, seriously, think about that, right? Give yourself 3 minutes to think about that. Then I need you to think about what are the possibilities that could happen in a good way. Let me tell you all, I had, and I'm not going to say one client, I had quite a few, but one client in particular, I was telling her this, doing my thing, thinking I'm being like the best, awesomest coach ever. And she was like, Latrice, what if I apply, they interview me, and then I get the job and I get there and I can't do it and I get fired? I was like, what? So in like 30 seconds, I'm like applying to being fired. You guys, come on. You've got this. You cannot let those thoughts stop you. Okay. First of all, I've seen people excellent at their job get laid off and let go with no notice by no fault of their own because leadership couldn't manage the money right. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can get a job and it's 100% job security and job protection. That's not it. But if you don't go after your dreams, if you don't apply, you're never going to get it. You can't think like so far ahead. Like, oh, look at this on fire. If you got the job and they like you, and you're ambitious, and you're professional, and you're smart, you got it. A lot of the times, too, I have written job descriptions. A lot of the times, these job descriptions are not written based on science. I'm going to be honest, very few, very, very few. Like, again, I'll give you the one with my daughter with the nurse. Yes, you need a license to be a nurse. However, that did not stop her from getting the interview and getting the offer. She just could not start. Now, before she could actually start working as a registered nurse for that company, obviously she had to pass the NCLEX and she had to get her license and they had to do the background check. But some of these things are, for anything, you would have to prove that you have the capabilities, that you have the certification, that you have the degree, right? But that should not stop you from applying initially, okay? All right, so more questions as we go through. All right, yes, yes, yes. And let me know if you booked, so I know. I'm going to check my email because it'll send me a notice because I want to make sure that I give you all your special gift. All right. So any other questions concerning resumes, concerning, let's say, LinkedIn? All right, I see a few people already booked. And here's the thing too, guys, with the sessions, the slots, like if someone books a 30-minute slot, it's going to take up an hour just because it gives me a cushion. So I would say if you know you want a slot, you know you want to chat, go ahead and book that now, okay? All right, so let me go. I'm going to go back. Y'all, I actually wear glasses. So if you see me looking at the screen, you guys, that's me doing this. All right, I have a positive. Okay. Okay, now cool. So we got a couple questions in one. So let's talk about relocating. So when you relocate, and I help plenty of people relocate. Usually when people relocate is when they're like, all right, I think I'm going to need some assistance with this because they know it's going to be a little different. One, definitely make sure you don't have your address on your resume when you're relocating. Two, if you're using LinkedIn and you want to relocate, put your location as that new place, right? Like these are just little things that when I tell people, they're like, oh my goodness, I never thought of that. Yes. So then you're going to start being connected. LinkedIn is like, okay, you now live here. Even if you're not there yet, they're going to start showing you more people who live in that area. When you're connecting with recruiters and companies and professionals who live in that area, they're going to be more likely to connect with you. And one of the things I do when I'm connecting with people I don't know in the area, and I'm a military spouse, so I'm is I say, hey, I'm new to the area. I really like to connect. I'm looking to connect with professionals in the Syracuse area, in the Atlanta area, right? You just put it in there. More than likely, they're going to connect. You can start a conversation. And hey, can you let me know what are some great local companies around? Just start that dialogue and that conversation, okay? School where I feel like my current job doesn't have room for growth. Okay, here's the thing. If your current job does not have room for growth or growth opportunity, use them for what you can get there. Meaning, if they're going to help pay for your education, do that. When I was going to school, because take from every experience. Excuse me. When I was getting my degree, keep in mind, I was a single mom of 2 kids. My company that I was working for, I hated that job. It was in accounting. When I tell you all, I hated it. Hey, I hated the job. I hated the company. I hated the people. There's maybe like 2 people out the whole company I like. Hated everything about it. You know what I did like? I like the flexibility. Okay, I love that my boss had kids. So if it was ever a time the school was out, she was like, all right, let's go. Like, she was very understanding. Anytime the schools let out early, holidays, anything like that, she was very understanding, really flexible as far as me, what time I had to come in, what time I had to leave, okay? Also, it was in walking distance of my college. So I could leave work and walk to college at one point. So these are some of the things. Also, they had tuition reimbursement. But one of the things I did, so I was in accounting, hated that. So I wanted to do an internship, but again, I worked full time there, and I had kids, and I was going to school. Okay, so y'all, it ain't too many things you can come to me with that I haven't experienced. And so I needed to do an internship. So I talked to my boss, and I talked to like one of the executives of the company. And what we decided was, on my lunch break, they would let me intern in a different department. So that was how I got practical experience. So did I have to skip lunch sometimes? Yeah. Did I have to eat at my desk? Yeah. Did I have to come in early a little bit, stay late, adjust my schedule? Yes. But take advantage of what you can in your current situation while still working on ways to get out of it. Like me going to school, I knew as soon as I got my degree, I was out of there. But I stayed there for 3 years, okay? And looking back in it, I could talk about all the things I didn't like, but it was so many things that it gave me, all right? So if you have any questions about that, let me know. All right. I see some questions coming in. Juanita says she booked good. All right. Any other questions before we go, guys? About LinkedIn, about resumes, and make sure that you all book as well. All right. I'm going back just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Nakia says booking now. Good. All right. So now is the time. I'm going to stay on for maybe like 3 more minutes, you guys. Oh, okay. And if you can do a webinar. Oh, let me tell you guys, salary negotiation is my favorite. Favorite topic. Remind me so I can tell you all how I got this. Remember how I said I got promoted like every 2 years? I was getting increases even sometimes in between those promotions. Once I figured, because you see a lot of things in HR, once you figure out how to ask, and I will tell you all, the biggest thing with women is we don't ask, and then when we do, 3 things. We don't ask for enough, and we take no for an answer instead of negotiating. So yes, I always ask, like at the end of it, is there any other topics that you want to learn more about? Oh my goodness. So yes, especially helping women negotiate their salary, that is a passion of mine. If you want to know more about personal branding or LinkedIn, let me know. LinkedIn is ever changing. It's a lot of contradicting information out there, and I can tell you exactly what you need to do in the shortest amount of time to get the quickest results. Okay? And says yes. And are you saying yes to the salary negotiation? All right. I'm going to go back one more time just to make sure I didn't miss any questions. I think I did miss one. These ideas are great. Thank you. I'm living in LinkedIn. Everyone is in HR. Tasha, okay, did you just see my post I did about, okay, look, I just, and I still have my notes. So really quickly, and then we're gonna close about how to stand out in a saturated market. I network and make connections and still not. I don't know what else to do. Here's the thing, HR is not one size fits all. So when people say HR, it could be HR payroll, it could be HR employee relations, it could be HR as an HR business partner, HR generalist, HR VP. Did I say payroll? Or you could be in training on that side of HR. There's so many realms of HR. Yes, HR right now broadly is saturated, but when you start to niche it down, like what do you want to be known for in HR? Do you want to be known for diversity and inclusion? Do you want to be known for, it's just so many realms of HR that you could be known for. This is where personal branding comes into play. Because yes, HR is one of those overly saturated industries when you put it like that. When you start niching it down, it is not. Okay. So really quickly, and this is for all of you all, because I literally just posted this and you probably saw it. All right. So when you are at how to stand out in a saturated market, personal brand, you got to be in tune with your star player. What makes you different than the same person? And in Atlanta, too, y'all got people who may have the same experience, education, and look like you. How do you stand apart? You have to be in tune. I don't know that for you. What makes you different? And then you need to highlight that on everything. Okay, on everything. What do you want to be known for? Find a niche in HR. Like what I started to really get known for was retention, was solving retention problems and solving turnover rate. And so fast forward now, you guys, I've built a company on that. So I do coaching, but I also do training. And one of the things that I take what I'm good at, so like having fun and being strategic, right? And so when I talk to companies, I say, hey, I'm Latrice. I work at Talent Stage. We help companies keep great people by teaching their managers how to be better bosses. Bam, right? That's it. So all of these trainers out here, and all of these people who are like, this is the way you can keep your staff happy. Give them great benefits. Give them this. Well, my niche is you can keep them happy by teaching your managers to be better bosses. Then if they show a little engagement, how do we do that? I say our trainings create a unique and fun experience designed for long-term success. That makes me different because I have fun. I involve game. Like, this is me, right? You see who I am. I come all in my glory, right? I'm not shy. I don't just have slides. Like, we play headbands. We've got prizes. We do candy, like all of this stuff. But we make sure that they have lasting success, that the techniques that I'm teaching them, they go back and implement. So out of all the trainers, why would they choose Latrice from Talent States? That's why. So that's kind of how you have to look at it in a saturated market. What is that unique thing about you? Highlight it and tie it to their problem. Tie it to their pain point. Which that was my second point, is you have to know the company's pain point. Yes, you got a network. But how are you networking? Are you saying your 10-second speech when you're networking? Are you addressing the pain point of the companies when you network, right? And then referrals. I always say referrals is like a magic key that will open up some job opportunities you didn't even know existed, okay? And then sharing your knowledge. So if you're in HR, you can share LinkedIn. You can start writing blog posts on LinkedIn. You can just do posts. You can answer questions. I'm in a Facebook group. I don't know your nationality, but it's HR professional, HR for colored professionals or something like that. And it's a really active group and people are always asking questions in it. Share your knowledge, answer those questions, introduce yourself, tell them where you're from. You're going to be surprised how many people are going to resonate with you and find you just from doing that. Okay, I know I kind of went a little longer. So, HR. Are you in the group already? Yes, HR practitioners of color. Yes. Right. Okay. Are you answering questions in the group? Because I get notifications all the time. I like that group. I started answering questions too, and already like people will like message me or be in my inbox and just different things. All right, so I'm gonna look out for you in that group. You can say I love that group. Yes, I'm gonna look out for you and see if you're responding. I'm gonna start tagging you when people are asking questions. That's a good way to get noticed. All right. So we're gonna count it down, you guys. If you haven't already, be sure to go ahead. I'm gonna put it one more time. Book your call to get that one-on-one with me, to also get your LinkedIn scripts. All right. You guys, it's been real. I'll wait for everyone to say bye. If you want, no one put their audio on. All right. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. If you have enjoyed this, if you could leave me either like a review, a message, testimonial, just something about the workshop and the webinar, that would be great. That could be like if you want to be like, this was so good, thank you, just I always tell people, like, share my comments, and then maybe like send me a message about the webinar. That would be awesome. All right, thank you. I'm just gonna make sure I type and message everybody. All right, you guys, let me